once had a dog, a Norwegian elk hound named Sarge. He was very prey-driven, which means he was easily distracted. When he was 10 weeks old, I started training him to recall, which basically means he's to return when he's called. So a few months later, he was probably about 8 months old. He was on a walk with me, and he slipped his harness because he saw a fast food Wendy's bag on the ground. So when he slipped his harness, he bolted for the bag, and I was panicked. I wondered, would he return to me? Would he get hurt if he didn't? And I yelled to him, "Sarge, come here." And he turned around mid-run, and he came back to me. And the reason for that is positive reinforcement training, which means the reward for him returning to me was greater than his perceived reward for going to the fast food bag. So positive reinforcement training is very beneficial for both the human and the dog. So using positive reinforcement training when training dogs is the best way to establish a firm sense of trust between the dog and the owner. It's going to help them improve their communication, and it will also help the dog to burn off excess energy. In a study conducted by Karen Overall of the Veterinary Medical Association, she claims that really excellent rewards can reinforce the behavior quickly, and really horrible experience can stimulate the amygdala to encode panic or phobia. So that means when a dog is rewarded for performing a behavior, that reward or that behavior is going to be more likely to be repeated in the future. And when a dog is reinforced negatively, which is when they receive a punishment for doing an undesired behavior, that's going to instill a sense of fear in them. So the types of training that we're going to be focusing on today are positive reinforcement and negative. So we'll start with the negative reinforcement, which is punishing a dog for performing the undesired behavior. So in a 2004 publication from the National Institutes of Health, author Christina Adams explains how dogs raised in restricted environments tend to develop abnormal behaviors. So when dogs are reinforced negatively, they can in turn lash out aggressively in the future. And there is also a study by author Copping of the Journal of Veterinary Behaviors, who observed that between two groups of dogs that were trained positively and negatively, 65% of dogs in the negative group displayed one or more stress-related behaviors. So stress-related behavior can be pinned ears or licking their lips or yawning excessively. In the second group of dogs, in the positive reinforcement group, only 8 of them displayed one or more of these behaviors. And similar results were found from Nathan J. Penning of the University of Guelph. So overall, positive reinforcement training is beneficial for the dog because they learn that when they go to their human, something good is going to happen, as opposed to when they go to their human, something bad is going to happen. So overall, positive enforcement is better by building connections between owners and dogs, burning off excess energy, and building communication. So positive reinforcement makes for an emotionally healthier and happier relationship between man and man's best friend.